Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Jaisal Favor. I'm from Philippines, and we're going to represent the Philippines. So, Philippines, the official Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country in Southeast Asia, situated in the Western Pacific Ocean. It consists of about 7,641 islands that are broadly categorized under three main geographical divisions from north to south. And Luzon, this is the part of Luzon, and middle is the Visayas, and the last is the Mindanao. And the capital city of the Philippines is Manila, and the most populous city is Quezon City. Manila is in here in part of Luzon. Um, and then both within the urban area of Metro Manila, bounded by the South China Sea to the west, the Philippine Sea to the east, and the Celebes Sea to the southwest. The Philippines shares maritime borders with Taiwan to the north, Japan to the northeast, Palau to the east, Indonesia to the south, Malaysia and Brunei to the southwest, Vietnam to the west, and China to the northwest. And the geography of the Philippines. Philippines is an archipelago that comprises 7,641 islands with a total land area of 300,000 square kilometers. It is the world's fifth largest island country. The 11 largest islands contains 95% of the total land area. The largest of this island is Luzon at about 105,000 square kilometers. The next largest island is Mindanao at about 95,000 square kilometers. The archipelago is around 800 kilometers from the Asian mainland and is located between Taiwan and Borneo.
Can I ask a question? Do people live on all 7,641 islands?
Yes,
Wow.
they have. But mostly people live in the mountain are the Asian people, the Aitas. So, but mostly the people like live in the city because it's not like here, the mountain, you can live in the mountain, but in Philippines it's really hard because um, there is no space or it's really a lot of plants and everything. So
So are the mountains cold or is it?
not too cold.
No, yeah, because it is in the South Pacific, so the weather is very moderate.
Yeah, only a little like 21 degrees Celsius in Baguio, that
Okay.
the cold place.
So 21 degrees Celsius is about 70 degrees.
Something like that's the coldest. Yes, but for us that's really cold.
Boy, so you're really cold.
Yeah, and the country of Philippines with a modest population of 85 million is home to more than 170 languages. In total, there are around 120 to 175 languages in Philippines, depending on how they are classified. In the 19th century, the lingua franca was Spanish due to the Philippines being under the colonial influence of Spain. In fact, Filipinos were forced to use Spanish as language of communication in government and in schools. English replaced Spanish as the official language after the American colonization from 1898 to 1946. The post-colonization era is marked by the growing influence of English, which began to be widely used as means of communication till Philippines gained independence after a few years. When Tagalog was declared its official language in 1937, it was decided to choose national language from among the native languages, English and Tagalog, the forerunner of present Filipino language, are the two official languages spoken today. The Filipino language is exclusively composed of Tagalog as spoken in Manila region. It is spoken as the first language by approximately a third of the population and as a second language by the remaining population. In Philippines, there are 13 languages with at least 1 million speakers all over the country. These languages are Cebuano, Tagalog, Bicol, Albay, Bicol, Pangasinan, Maguindanao, Maranao, Tausug, Hiligayno, Ilocano, Kapampangan, and that's my language in Philippines, Kinaraya, and Waray-Waray. Mostly here is province. Kapampangan live in the city. And most of these languages derive from Malayo-Polynesian roots. There are hundreds of dialects found in Philippines with variations between towns on the same island. While there are many native speakers of these regional languages, most Filipinos speak a mix of Filipino derived from Arabic, Spanish, and Chinese, as well as English language.
Okay, I have another question. The language, is it, um, uh, what kind of characters do you use? I've
Uh,
never seen Tagalog written.
yeah, is like the A to Z letter.
Okay,
It's the same. That's what we use, but the also the Kapampangan, but we never use like the Arabic style.
okay,
Yeah. So it's
okay.
A to
Or
Z.
like the Thai language, which is symbols or that type of thing. So
You
it
don't
is letters. Okay.
guess. The rationale behind so many languages, despite the fact the Philippines has undergone several colonization rules and has changed its constitution a few times. Many languages still have native speakers. Those who were highly influenced by Spanish settlers retains the use of Chabacano, a derived language of Spain. The native population influenced by the Muslims in the southern part of the country still include Arabic as a second language. In fact, it seems like since the conquerors of the Philippines came from varied backgrounds, they all left influence on the native who retained some expressions of their languages. This can be seen in the number of languages that are spoken by Filipinos today, more than 170, all belonging to different dialects and backgrounds. Trade and tourism also influence the local languages, and they have been contributing factor in answering the questions of how many languages are spoken in Philippines.
Interesting.
Political history of the Philippines. As of now, there is 42,046 barangays, that is villages, and provinces of Philippines are divided into cities and municipalities, which in turn are divided into barangays, formerly barrios, like province, and they call it here is villages. And the local government, the 1987 Constitution mandates that local governments must have local autonomy. The smallest local government unit, the barangay or village, date back to pre-colonial times, coming from the word balangay, which refers to boats used of Austronesian people to reach the Philippines. The prehistoric barangays were headed by datus. Currently, barangays are grouped into municipalities or cities, while municipalities and cities may be further grouped into provinces. Each barangay, municipality, or city and the province is headed by the barangay chairman, mayor, governor, respectively, with its legislatures being a sangguniang barangay, that is village council, sangguniang bayan, municipal council, or sangguniang panglungsod, city council, and the sangguniang panlalawigan provincial board. And the education system in the Philippines, education in the Philippines is provided by public and private school, college, universities, and technical and vocational institution in the country. The high school student, they have academic class 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. And after that, we have 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. vocational courses. For the girls, they have foods, dressmaking, handicrafts, and cosmetology courses.
So in high school, you go to school from 6 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock.
Yes, that's academic class. And then after lunch, we have a vocational course.
So what if you don't want to do vocational courses?
It's required
Oh,
because when we graduate, that's included. Also, not only that, every Saturday we have also a different activity or course like PMT, like Preparatory Military Training 1. And we have Rondalia, which is student can play music, instrument, and a dancer. So it's the choice of the student which one they will gonna take every Saturday, and that's also required because we have graduation for that course after
so
4 years high school.
from sixth grade to 12th grade, they go to school from 6 o'clock in the morning.
That time we don't have the K to 12 because they just added recently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we only have 4 years, but right now they have 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I think they don't have vocational course today because that school is the only one public school that having vocational course. But right now, I think it's closed. So mostly just academic.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
for, oh, sorry. And for the boys, they have automotive course, furniture, and electrical. And the primary education is first part of the educational system, and it's include the first 6 years of compulsory education from first grade to sixth grade. And optional seventh grade offered by some school. Major subjects include math, science, English, Filipino, and social sciences. Optional subjects include music, art, physical education, and health. Private school student may select subject from the wider curriculum, including religious instruction in the dogma of their choices. Mostly in private school, they don't have the vocational, only in
Wow.
school. Yeah. And middle school education is part of primary or elementary education. And the secondary education, that's high school, and it's comprises 4 grades that have changed little since the Second World War. The curriculum is prescribed for both private and state school. Core subjects are as follows. First year, we have Filipino 1, Algebra 1, Integrated Science, English 1, Philippine History. Second year, we have Filipino 2, Algebra 2, Biology, English 2, Asian History. And third year is Filipino 3, Geometry, Chemistry, World History, Geography. Fourth, fourth year, Filipino 4, Calculus, Trigonometry, Physics, Literature, Economics. Minor optional subjects include health, music, arts, physical education, home economics, and technology. Selected school present additional subjects. Total secondary school numbers exceed 5.5 million. And vocational education. Accredited mainly private institution known as colleges offer technical and vocational education. Programs offered vary in duration from a few weeks to 2 years diplomas. On completion, student may take centrally administered examinations to obtain their diploma or certificate. Vocational colleges don't usually require an entrance examination, only a record of high school education and an enrollment fee. After high school, our school, public school, we have technical course like take 2 years course, but they don't pay tuition for that. You just have to continue your schooling in that school.
Okay.
Some people take that because they can't go to college to pay high tuition fee.
Okay.
And tertiary education, Philippine University, most institutions of higher learning are regulated by the Commission of Higher Education. Colleges typically offer one or more specialized program, while university must offer at least 8 different undergraduate degree program in a wide array of subject, at least 2 graduate programs. Public universities are all non-sectarian and offer a wide range of programs with English as a medium of instruction. Public university are government funded, with the largest, the University of the Philippines, receiving the substantial portion of the annual budget. There are also a number of private tertiary institutions, sectarian or non-sectarian, as well as profit or non-profit. For private institution or Catholic or non-profit organizations, most universities offer 4 year degree programs with 2 semesters per year.
So if you go to college, if you go to university, let me say university,
Yes.
um, do you go 5 days a week or do you go like we do, 2 days a week?
Actually, we use Monday to Friday.
And so how long is your day, Monday to Friday?
It depends to our subject we take because in college, the student choices which how many subjects they have to take because some student are working student, so
Okay.
it's up to them how they manage their time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
students in the university work.
yes,
Okay.
not all the students, just mostly,
Okay.
but mostly in I think it's the regular college, like small school, something like that. But in the big universities, mostly students just um, studying, not working.
Yes. And there's a difference between a college and a university, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Historical markers of the Philippines. Historical markers are installed by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines in the Philippines and places abroad that signify important events, persons, structures, and institutions in the Philippines' national and local histories. The plaque themselves are permanent signs installed by the NHCP in publicly visible locations on buildings, monuments, or in special occasions. Local municipalities and cities can also install markers of figures and events of local significance. Though they may have the permission of NHCP, these markers are barred from using the seal of the Republic of the Philippines. An image of historical markers, tourism in Philippines, the mansion. The mansion house is the official summer palace of the President of the Philippines. The mansion is located in summer capital of the country, Baguio. This is what I'm talking about, a cold place. Situated around 5,000 feet in Cordillera Central Range of northern Luzon. Intramuros, discovering the timeless beauty of the walled city. Known as the walled city, Intramuros is a place rich in history and culture with its cobbled street and preserved architecture dated hundreds of years ago It will have you second guessing whether you are still in Philippines or not. That is why many foreigners and locals never miss the Intramuros tour when in the city. In this one I can discuss. Manila Cathedral is a premier church of the Philippines as it was the first ever cathedral in the country. The Manila Cathedral we see today is not the original structure. Actually, the cathedral has been through a lot but stands still. It has been a witness of history that is worthy to tell to every generation from ups and downs to wars and loves stories. The Manila Cathedral is surely one of the best places to visit in Manila.
So is it a Catholic cathedral? Yes. Are most people Catholic?
Yes.
Okay.
And San Agustin Church, another must visit in Intramuros is the San Agustin Church. It is the oldest church in the Philippines and the only church with its UNESCO World Heritage Site in Manila. You'll be amazed at the masterpiece painted on its ceilings built in 1595. San Agustin, Manila, officially known as Church of the Immaculate Conception of San Agustin, is the oldest church in the Philippines. It exhibits remarkable pictures such as retablos altars of high Baroque style and wall buttresses separating crypto collateral chapels. What makes it unique it is the ceiling paintings in the trombe loyal means the eye style. It also the only church that is UNESCO World Heritage Site in Manila. And one of the amazing facts to know about San Agustin Church is that the Philippine First Governor General Miguel Lopez de Legazpi is buried there.
Looks really beautiful.
Yeah. A lot of big churches in Philippines that 100 years ago still there.
Yeah. It's really beautiful.
And Casa Manila, its main attraction is fully furnished home turn museum that shows how Filipino lives during the colonial era. While every corner is beautiful and visitors are not allowed to take photos, while inside, walk only on the carpeted area so that you do not damage the wooden floors. Of all the luxurious furniture in Casa Manila, the most notable are the toilets. Apparently, in the old days, toilets were built in twos or more to allow people to sit beside each other and chat while they did their business.
How funny.
Yes, like no privacy. This San Diego used to be a drowning chamber during the Spanish era. It was built and designed by the Jesuit priest Antonio Sedeno in the late 1580s. Its main features is the circular dungeon called Port Nuestra Senora de Guia. Today, Baluarte de San Diego is surrounded by beautiful gardens adorned with lush plants, pathways, fountains, and attractive pergola that will remind you of Fantasyland. That is why it has become a popular place for weddings, family parties, and other special occasions.
Okay, wait, I have to stop you. What do you mean it used to be a drowning chamber? They put people in there to kill them?
Um, because this place, when World War II, a lot of people died in that place.
And now people come to have weddings there? Oh, creepy.
Right now, they it's not like this. You can see right now they put a lot of flowers and it's fountains. It's kind of a little renovation, something like,
Uh-huh.
but they don't change the blocks.
Wow. Okay.
And Filipino cuisine. Filipino cuisine is composed of the cuisines of more than 100 distinct ethno-linguistic groups found throughout the Philippines archipelago. However, of the majority of mainstream Filipino dishes that compose Filipino cuisine are from the cuisines of various ethno-linguistic groups and tribes of the archipelago, including the Ilocano, Pangasinan, Kapampangan, Tagalog, Bicolano, Visayan, Chabacano, and Maranao. Ethno-linguistic groups. Um, I think each place in Philippines, like in Kapampangan, or Angeles City or in Manila, we have a lot of hundreds different kind of foods. Even except the province, they have a different food also that we can eat or we can't eat like that. So this is the only sample of Filipino cuisine. I think it's a little Chinese and Spanish dishes. And the style of food making and the food associated with it have evolved over many centuries from their Austronesian origins to mixed cuisines of Indian, Chinese, Spanish, and American influences, in line with the major waves of influence that had enriched the culture of the archipelago as well as others adopted in indigenous ingredients and the local palate. Cultural and traditional celebrations in Philippines, having fondness for family reunions during secular and religious holidays such as Christmas, New Year's Eve, All Saints' Day, Holy Week, fiestas, homecomings, birthdays, weddings, graduation, baptisms, funeral, etc. We all celebrate all of that. Filipino people valued not only our cultural tradition but the spirit of our family. Different types of home in the Philippines. First, we have condo mid-rise, and this type of condominium can be of the 10th floor high. Mid-rise condos allow urbanities and professional working in the city to enjoy the convenience of condo living still feel like living in laid-back community. Mostly condos built in Manila because that's the big city. And high-rise condos are prevalent near or within the city center and are proximity to shopping malls, schools, and everything that modern urbanities needs. Residents are usually young and active professionals and families. It features luxurious and exclusive amenities that are not usually found in other types of homes.
And are condominiums expensive?
Yes, I think the cheaper is like 25,000 if you're just renting, but if you want to bought it like more than 2 million.
Wow. Okay.
um Townhouses, also known as a row house. This is a style of housing where similar homes are in a row share common wall. And house and lot. And this is the sample of different kinds of house and lot. Single attached for this type of house and lot. One side of your house is attached or built directly at the side of your lot. If your house they would be a big space in the right and vice versa. Usually space at the back and front exists too. It is similar to a duplex except unit would be side by side only. This kind of house, when you bought it, is already made and it's up to you if you want to put a fence or a gate and if you want to add more or expand a little bit.
So do most houses have fences and gates around them?
Yes,
Yes.
like here, they don't use fence and gate.
Yeah. And so are most houses 2 stories or 1 story? 2
Um,
floors or 1 floor?
Here is other different type and single detached. Single detached means that your house is detached from any side of a lot. Basically, there is open space on side plus and front and back, and your house is in the middle of the lot.
Okay.
And here, the bungalow, no second floor, just just a, sometimes wide and big or small, but there is no second floor. This is simply a single story house with all the rooms located in the same floor, and that is in the ground floor. It is suited for families with members who have impaired mobility, such as elderly relatives like Lolo, Grandma, and Grandpa, that will find it difficult to take the stairs. And we have duplex. This is single building that contains two housing units. I think here you have duplex kind of house too.
Uh-huh.
They may be side by side or up and down depending on the architectural design. Triplex. This type of building is similar with a duplex, but instead of two, there are three housing units in one building.
A
Out,
triplex.
yes,
I don't think I've ever heard that word. We don't use that. We would call that an apartment house.
yeah. Our apartment in Philippines, like four, five, six, or more than that, we call
Yeah.
apartment. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that word, a triplex.
And multi-level. This kind of house and lot for sale is typically the big ones located in gated subdivisions. Since you own the entire perimeter on the property plus the house, you can do whatever you want with it. And that's all my presentation.
Fantastic.
Enjoy.
Fantastic. Really interesting. So, Gisele, when you were there, what school did you go to?
Um, Public school on high school,
Uh-huh.
also a regular small school for college because I only take 2 years course, computer course, computer science.
Okay. Okay. So is it more like a vocational degree then?
Um, no, because that time the computer is in demand, so they just offered different uh, course about computer, like computer science, secretarial, in computer like programming, uh,
Oh, okay.
fixing
Okay.
computer.
And where do you live here?
Um, I live in Angeles City, um,
In where?
Angeles City, Pampanga.
Oh, okay. And now that you live in the United States, where do you live?
Yes, the Angeles City is 2 hours away from Manila.
Okay. In the United States, where do you live?
Here in Front Royal, Hyna.
Okay. In Front Royal. Okay. Great. Interesting.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.